What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, aka Jerrilyn Lake, checking in with none other than my bestie for the restie,
Lynee Monet, and you are listening to the She Said It First podcast, an Urban One podcast on the Urban One Podcast Network. Period.
Period. Hey, friend, how you doing today?
Hey, friend. I'm doing really good. I've been so busy. And then you know this one right here. She added more to my plate. Y'all gotta stay tuned because we cooking up something serious. I can't wait for y'all to know. I'm so excited. All right.
We can tell them now because it's out. It's up and it's live, so we can tell them now. Actually.
Okay. All right.
We should do it. We should talk to them about it.
We should. So I'm just going to say a quick spiel, right? You know, first of all, Jerrilyn travels so much more than me. Okay, I'm just getting on the bandwagon. But since I have been, it's been lit. And she came up with this amazing idea to include you guys with traveling with us, okay? So you get an experience and you get to travel with us. You get to learn about culture depending on where we're going. I think we're going to Thailand. Okay?
We are going to Thailand.
So if you are interested in going to Thailand with us, make sure you go ahead and book your slots because it's only we got 8 slots for the early birds. Okay, so it's $1,500 for the early birds. So you need to get on it. You save $350, right, friend? Am I right?
Yeah, you say no. That's okay. It's going to be October 24th through the 30th. We're going to Thailand, specifically Chiang Mai. I can't wait to go. Okay. I've already put the time request in for my job that I don't have. I've already scheduled to have my dog babysat and boarded at the facility. And I'm booking my flight at the end of the week when I get my next little chunk of change. So I'm really excited to be able to do this because me and Lynee, we haven't traveled a lot together, but the last time we traveled to Aruba, we thought this is really dope. And I think that we could do this with other people. And I would love, of course, to make it more affordable. So the more people that come on the trip, the more affordable it will be. So I think that you should grab your homegirl. You grab all your friends and tell them that we're doing a girls trip with 2 of your favorite social media influencers.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a great time. So the only thing that's not included is your flight. We even going to feed you while you're there. We're going to have dinners and excursions. You get to ride an elephant and all these other things. So I think that it would behoove you to come on and sign up. The link is in our bio.
Check our bio. And I do want to add just one other thing, friend. You don't have to have a friend.
You don't.
Y'all, we can link up together. Yep. That's the whole purpose of this, is that you don't have to have a friend. Like, you can bring your homegirl, but if you don't feel discouraged to not come anyway, because there will be other people there, and we're gonna be there, so you won't be by yourself.
Yeah. And we're your homegirls. So just think of us as the 2 homegirls that you're bringing on the trip.
Period.
It's really that simple. So
I'm
excited.
I can't wait. Plug, if you will.
Shameless plug. So instead of trick or treating or whatever, we're gonna be Halloween in Thailand. We'll be there, we will be there one day earlier. But if you want to come back and do something for Halloween, you can, because you'll be back in time. But I'm really excited about the trip. So I really can't wait to do it. And friend, we got to squeeze something else in, maybe in July or August, just me and you, because you know how we get. But now is a perfect time, actually, because just to throw the mood off, I'm a little menace and I love chaos.
What?
Friend, what irritated you this week?
It ain't even this week, Jerrilyn. Something just irritates me in general.
I knew it.
Something irritates me overall. I do not like that I get secondhand embarrassment. I hate that I get second. Because why am I more embarrassed than you? I don't like taking on other people's problems. Like, why am I taking on your embarrassment? Why are you not embarrassed for yourself? It's so many times I can recall where it was just like cringy, like Miss Netta and what's his name, Charles. When they would make videos and they would comment out. You get on.
That irritates me too. I can't lie. That irritates me too.
Girl, I'm gonna be so embarrassed, especially when they used to make videos of them coming out of hotels and they put the paparazzi soundtrack on their videos and they'd just be waving and somebody with their flash would be doing it on. Oh my God, girl, that would give me like secondhand embarrassment. Girl, when Krishan got that like tattoo of Blueface on her cheek, and then she told me she has name tattoo all over her body, secondhand embarrassment. Girl, when Tank got up here and told everybody he like his booty hole 8, I was thrown off.
Wait.
I was taken back.
You are taking me.
When I was taken
too
back.
fast. You are taking me too fast right now. I didn't know that. You know what? And then I think, wasn't it him also who made a comment about how he just dibbled and dabbled in homosexuality and then went back to being straight? I was like,
that was the booty hole.
And now me.
That was the booty hole moment.
Here we go. This is me. I feel like black men specifically, should be allowed to experiment with their sexuality and figure out what they like and what they don't like. And that way they won't be terrorizing women. Because these down low men be the most hellish scoundrels that have ever walked the face of planet Earth. At this point, I feel like they're not even from here no more. I think that they could be,
I'm telling you,
they could be designed for some other planet, because the way they're not allowed to just be sexually is you are terrorizing the rest of the planet. Straight women specifically.
I'm telling you.
We don't want that.
They
I want
hate
you
us.
to be able to be yourself. So if you think that you want a man to eat your booty hole, then I think you should be able to do that.
Jerrilyn, no I'm getting it again. I get an embarrassment happening right now. No.
I feel like if it's with your girl, though, it's not gay. Like if you're doing it with your woman, then it's not gay.
Promise you, Jerrilyn, I promise you, I would never spread no grown man booty cheeks open. You could not pay me enough money. No, the way y'all drones be looking, you don't even want to be in there. You're not even wiping. You don't even want to be in that booty hole. And you think I'm going to spread them cheeks open and climb in? You've lost your mind.
What you do?
Climbing there? You have lost your mind.
Oh my gosh. No, because that's what irritated me this week. Why do I have to fight you to get in the shower? Go wash your ass. Go wash your ass. When the water is right
and that be the main one want you to eat some booty. That one right there.
God.
Don't want to take no bath, no washing, not even a bird, nothing. No bird bath, nothing. Be like, you mind if I just roll over? You mind if I get right there in that spot? No, man.
No.
Absolutely.
I wanna end it all right now.
Not your hair.
No, Lynee. Because you know what? It be the boo-boo crumbs for me. It be leaving them on the toilet, leaving them in the sheets. Like, I want to kill everybody in the apartment. Everybody got to die.
Everybody here must go now. Everybody must go now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we can pause here, Jahi. Speaking of things that irritated us this week, friend, you know I got a top of the news story. You got to ask me though.
Girl, what happened?
Girl, the Oompa Loompa is back at it again. You know, he's been talking about these tariffs, and surprisingly, well, not to my surprise, but a lot of people don't even know what the tariffs are, how they work, who's going to be paying the cost of the tariffs, all these things. But it's said that President Trump has unveiled 2 new ones. One of them is going to be a universal 10% tariff on all U.S. imports, and the other one is going to be called a reciprocal tariff, which is basically applied to imports from about 90 nations. Now, I don't know if y'all know this or not. That's almost half the countries on the entire planet. So,
wow.
Yeah. So he said that if you respond with your own tariff, okay, I'm gonna hit you where it hurts. And so that's exactly what people have been doing. China and the European Union have levied tariffs against the United States. Now he said that this is going to strengthen the economy and that we'll have to just kind of hang in there because we need, time for all these changes to take effect. But a lot of people's 401ks are dropping. The stock market is currently crashing. A lot of people millionaires are losing money just left and right, just draining these people's accounts. And now, they're questioning what Trump is doing. So I want to say I'm sorry. I feel some kind of sympathy, but we told you so.
That's right. We told you so. And it's so funny because I feel like no matter what topic we talk about when it comes to Trump, because I'll be goddamn if I call him president. I'm
so angry.
Oh my God. I'm being serious. Trump. It always comes back to, we told you so, and you just thought it was never going to affect you. It always comes back to that. The only time I hear from anybody who was on the opposing side and actually who voted for him is because now it's affecting you, and it's affecting your pockets. It's affecting your stocks. It's affecting things that's keeping you a billionaire or keeping you a millionaire or whatever the case may be. But prior to that, you didn't care. You put this person in office because you thought that it would benefit you. But now you see that it's on the opposite end, and now you have so much to say about it. And it's like, I do not care. I genuinely don't care. Now, I know the only thing that I can say, Jerrilyn, is that other countries have raised their tariffs on the U.S. multiple times, and we never have. You know what I mean? Mostly everything here is made in China. You know, you look at everything, it's made in China.
Or Mexico. So it's everywhere but here.
You know what I'm saying? And so they can raise their tariffs because, I mean, we need things from them. That's the only thing is like, this is the one time we did it and now y'all mad. That's the only way that I can come about it. But at the same time, I do feel as though like I said before, if you thought that this is where it ends, you are sadly mistaken. You know what I mean? This man is coming after each and every person, and everybody's just not going to lay down and let you do whatever you want. You don't get to raise whatever you want to raise and then say, you better not do nothing about it. Those other countries do not operate in that. They don't see no fear when it comes to you. They don't operate in that way. And I think that he has this like false delusion of like how people see him. You know, that grandiose kind of like persona that he thinks people will not retaliate. And that is where you are wrong, sir. And in the midst of you feeling like you have this grandiose personality, you are putting all of us at risk. Literally everybody. We are taking it blow for blow because of the decisions that you're making. And that part I do not think is right. Because he makes decisions solely based off his own personal benefit. It's not for the country. That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, but we knew that about him. And we tried to explain this to y'all. We told y'all that with the Project 2025, he was going to start enacting a lot of things that were going to specifically harm Black and brown people. And that's the messaging that a lot of us were putting forth. Now, the white people, the wealthy people, they, for whatever reason, thought that there was absolutely going to be no blowback. And now we're seeing that, you know, you're not as wealthy as you thought you were. You're not as untouchable. Because even the Barstool owner is I call it, well, anyway, he's a MAGA supporter. I don't like the Barstool people because I feel like it's just like toxic man stuff. But I also, you know, like I don't follow them enough. Like I've seen like a couple of videos or whatever, and I just didn't like their brand, which is, you know, they have followers and fans or whatever. So cool for them. But now knowing that the owner, Dave Portnoy, is a MAGA Trump supporter, and he lost 7 million in one day, I feel a little bit better about my stance on not supporting them.
Right. Exactly. Now it's like, yeah, I feel totally justified.
Because what did you think? You know what I mean? Like, the thing that I hate about a lot of Trump supporters is you did not care about any of the harmful things that you knew were going to happen to Black and brown people. You just thought that it was okay for those people to be disenfranchised or to have their money stripped away, 401ks, retirement. Baby, by the time I decide, we are the first generation who is going to have to probably work until we are dead if we don't have some type of investment properties or some type of, you know, passive income, because the economy is just effed up. And it is not going to get better with rich white men pulling the strings. I'm sorry. It's not going to get better. And I really want to, at some point, talk about how y'all crashed that Grindr site at the Republican National Convention, which is a site for gay men. But I'm going to save that for another. I'm going to save that for another.
Oh my God. Brent, I ain't hear about that one. Oh, that's the tea.
Oh, my God. Because, you know, Grindr is basically Tinder, but for gay hookups. Yeah, for gay hookups. It's for
men and women. I thought it was specifically for men.
It's just for gay men who want to have sex. So I call it like I call it Tinder for gay men because yes, of course, gay people are on Tinder, but Tinder is not like a site that you take seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, people might be meeting they forever after on Tinder, but I don't see it. I think that when people are on these dating apps and stuff like that, I think they just be playing around, and I don't think nobody. I feel like I would prefer to meet somebody in person in real life or whatever. But I think that, you know, the fact that they crashed this particular site, which was marketed and made for gay men, you know,
that's crazy. That's interesting.
because these are the same ones, you know, that will sit up in town halls and on you know, Supreme Court passing all these
Yep, they
laws,
fit the bill.
and they're the ones that say that being gay is wrong. Trans people
passing the
have
bills, doing the most.
and, you
Those
know,
be the ones.
banning books and drag shows, and I'm like, just let me see your phone apps real quick.
Right, real quick. Let me see your phone real quick. I just want to check the weather.
I just want to know myself, because if Wanda is on there, sir, I need y'all to stop the foolishness. Like, it's such a joke at this point. Like, it is a joke that you all are acting like anybody is superior to anyone else in this country that was built by people that don't even look like you.
Hello?
You know what? I'm on a tangent.
Yeah, see where you going from.
I got to say this about white people. Now, you know, I have white friends or whatever, and I am in no way
Friend, you
racist.
got white friends?
Yeah.
How many?
Like, now I can count them on one hand.
Okay. It's not like my neighbor is white.
No,
it's not.
No.
Okay.
No, I actually do. But I grew up. I don't know if you know this, but I grew up. Well, I'm born and raised in Memphis, but I moved to Mississippi when I was younger, and so I was one of the only Black students in my class.
Oh,
and so I grew up surrounded by a bunch of white people. I still have one of my best friends to this day is a white girl from Mississippi, and so I have a friend or two. Now, do I make it a habit to be in white spaces? Absolutely not.
Right.
Because and I'm just being real because of stuff like this. Because people will be your friend and still go to the polls and vote a certain type of way. They'll be your friend and still not think that people like you deserve rights and benefits and things like that. And so I have to just use discernment when I'm befriending white people, because no, I don't mind being friends with people of other races. It ain't even just white people. But a lot of people's proximity to whiteness will cause them to treat me a certain type of way. Whole time, hurry up and buy. Like,
that part.
It's the same.
That part.
It's the same type of nastiness that comes from, you know, those types of demographics. And so I think that white people are one of the only groups of people. I don't know if I want to say European, but, you know, fairer skinned people.
Yeah.
Just don't want to do no work. They steal and rape and pillage for everybody else to do their work, and then they pass the winnings, the things that they earned from the devastation that they caused. They pass it along to their offspring, and now that's generational wealth. And so I'm sorry I took that tangent, but maybe somebody will, because I know this one ain't gonna make it on Instagram, but maybe somebody will be listening to the podcast and they'll hear this and they'll know that I am very much for our people.
Yeah, very much. But, speaking of our people, why do all the Black people that are Trump supporters look the same and kind of act the same? They all have that very dead, you know, that look. They all look very gone.
It'd be the crunchy wig too, because
the wigs.
These sisters, their hair tell it every time. I can tell ain't nobody Black doing your hair, and ain't nobody Black around you seeing your hair like that.
Exactly.
That's what I know.
Be like, girl, I don't know if they have meetings or what. Like, it's just they all look the same. They all, the cadence is the same when they talk. Their eyes all look dead. It's like look dead behind it. Like, it's no brain cells whatsoever behind their head. I just be like, how everybody got the same? I be thrown
brain
off.
just as smooth. Brain just as smooth. You can ski off it. You can ski off the frontal lobe. Brain just as slick. Ain't a wrinkle up there. No productivity. Nobody's on. Lights are on. Nobody's home.
No one's home. It ain't been for a while. Okay, I just had to get off.
But that's an interesting point, because that brings me to my next topic. Like, how Black are we for real if we are supporting anti-Black politicians and legislation? And I think Raven Symone is an interesting example of this type of dynamic. She did an interview recently with Jason Lee and with her wife about, you know, her comments about not being African American and just being American. And so we actually have a clip where she explained her position that is, you know, she's not that she doesn't consider herself as Black or Black American with African ancestry. She just feels like she identifies more as an American, and she should have the right to do so. Now, I'm gonna say you cuckoo for cuckoo puffs, but I'm gonna let you explain yourself in this following clip. So take a listen to what Raven Symone had to say.
Let's hear her out.
eat my own words and apologize.
Oh, what'd you say about me?
That interview you did with Oprah, where she asked you if you were, African American or whatever. And
you got mad at me?
Listen,
I am not an African American. I'm an American. I am a Black American. I am definitely Black. And yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Mm-hmm. Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. Mm. So that means they were there long before. I think there comes a point where when you build a country, when you fight for freedom, make money and pay taxes and generationally live in a country, you have the privilege to call yourself pure American.
Right. Well, I'm not mad at her answer. I'm going to be honest. I did go in with the side eye at first.
I'm not mad at her answer, but Raven, you're not the person who gets to say genetics is thrown to the wind just because you've been in America. Girl, the features, the nose, the eyes, the curves.
We're definitely got some African.
Like, baby, I mean, you might not have never stepped foot on the continent, but there is African blood in your veins. And if you don't want to be called African American, fine, that's fine. You can be Black American. You can be just American. I don't think nobody cares about how you want to identify, but you don't get to just think that just because you got high yesterday and started thinking now you got to tell him. You know what I'm saying? Now I need everybody to know y'all not African American now, girl. I need you to do a 23andMe. Well, not 23andMe because they went bankrupt, but do a.
And they selling it to the FBI or somebody got it down.
I did an Ancestry.com. Girl, I did Ancestry.com, and them folk told me that my DNA mostly resembles people in Nigeria and the west coast of Africa. And so I understand that there's not as more people submit their DNA for testing, I understand that the numbers will be skewed. But I've never thought I'm American. Like, you can't just teach a race of people that y'all came from slavery and then it's
just
different.
Erase it, child.
You know what I'm saying?
Trying everything in their power to do just that. I think I understand her verbiage. You know what I'm saying? But Raven's not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? She don't really give me stupid answers. It's not giving Stacey Dash. Sorry, she just did it straight. Why did I just come out to Stacey Dash?
Girl, because why it took her 6 years to realize DMX had passed away.
Yeah, but her reasoning makes sense to me. I understand what she's saying. But once again, I can't, and maybe this is a brainwash thing. I have no clue. I can't call myself an American because of what I think an American is. And it's not what I think. It's not something I want to be associated with.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even a place for Black people. So why would you want to link yourself directly to that and nothing else? I'd rather be Nigerian.
Well. Because did we see who was in the room? Did we pay attention who was in the room?
I saw that.
Did we look at when she was
saying? For those of you who couldn't see the clip, it was a white woman
in the room. You know what I'm saying?
And another mulatto.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that they have those type of conversations. You know, because there are certain conversations that you would have with a certain type of partner that you wouldn't
can't have
with you feel. So you get where I'm going with that. So I think that there was some justification, or they have had this conversation so much that she can identify with that. May be the thing that brings them closer together. You get what I'm saying?
That's good for them. I tried.
Yeah,
I can't.
I know I'm Black, girl. The roof.
I'm with Dr. Umar. I'm with Dr. Umar, baby. You may not bring your white wife. You may not bring your white wife. I'm with Dr. Umar when I say, girl, I tried it. I've dated all different types of people. I've dated Hispanic, white, of course, all different types of Black, Nigerian, Jamaican, Haitian, all these things. And let me tell you, it ain't nothing like a nigga.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, for real.
But I think it's culturally. Yeah. It's, I connect with you on a different level. We can say the N word and we understand it's not offensive to either one of us. We can play spades together. We have inside jokes about hair and skin and jobs and all these things. Like, we have a culture, even though you stripped us from a land and brought us to this raggedy dump. Yeah. We still very much as Black Americans have a culture, and I will never ever negate that to say I am simply just American. Because Americans are Trump supporters at this point.
That's what I said, and that was what I was trying not to say. Is what I look at as an American is not something I want to be associated with. But what I can say is that I wish Black Americans, Black African Americans would figure out our culture and stick to it. Because one thing I admire about Africans is that they understand their roots, their ancestry, and they still have a very strong sense of unity and family and togetherness. And a lot of times, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It's unfortunate that I watch us tear each other down or get more excitement about the negative things that's going on with us than coming together as a unit or a culture or sticking together. When we do certain things have a rally or we protesting, the first thing in the comments that I see from Black African Americans, it ain't no point, it ain't gonna do nothing, nothing gonna change, I don't see why. But I believe that if it were Africans or Indians, Hispanics, and they had the same thing, same protests going on, they would definitely stick together, because I've seen it.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point. And I also want to point out that conditioning that happened after slavery and through Jim Crow probably doesn't help. So I'm not giving Black people an excuse, but what I am saying is that we didn't tear our own families apart. We didn't divide ourselves.
But when do we stop, though? That's the thing. And I understand that.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
there has to be a relearning. There has to be a relearning and a reconditioning, right?
Yeah.
Because there are certain things that you feel like are just right. You think that that's just right. And that's your opinion on that. We could all say, well, killing somebody is wrong. But we all have made caveats for it, because if it's self-defense, now it's right.
That part.
And so I think that it's just a difference of opinion, and it has to be a mass unlearning and relearning what it means to be a family and to stick together and to have a culture, because we were not afforded that opportunity. It ain't like we took a cruise to this month.
So true.
Here.
So true. It's so true. But I want us to try. I really, really, really want us to try. Because as long as we stay captive in our own mind or continue to look at what happened in the past as a reason why we stay behind, then we'll just continue to be behind. We'll always be behind the race. If we change our mindset and we understand what happened and use it as more as motivation to surpass those who seem to be above us or, superior, or however you want to look at these individuals, I just think that we should work on changing our mindset so we can get ahead of the curve instead of continuously backtracking and having these conversations about what got us here. Because we know, unanimously, we know how we got here. We're all aware of how it happened, but how do we move past it and become the leading race? What can we do to change our mindset and stop passing it down to our kids and other generations to have that same mindset and be stagnant? Because I see people, I ain't working for the white man, but now you don't have no money. You don't have no money. You don't know how to navigate this life.
You gotta learn how to play the game.
Yeah, you're angry all the time. Don't nobody want to be around you. You too woke. I almost want you to go back to sleep. You too woke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just want people to use that as fuel and not as a safety net to just stay where you at and get stuck. That's my only issue.
So I think that's a very fair point. And I hate to be devil's advocate on this, because I have to ask the question. When people are born into societies that don't afford them any resources, because if I'm 14 and I get pregnant, there had to be some miseducation or lack of education there
along the way,
obviously, or lack of guidance. And so now that 14-year-old didn't have a chance, that baby probably don't have a chance, because now they automatically either finna be struggling on welfare. Somebody finna do something that they don't want to do to get money. And I think we oftentimes forget, again, they always say that crabs in a bucket mentality, but the bucket is not our original habitat. That's not our original environment. And so it's hard to, I'm not saying give people an excuse. I'm saying sometimes it can be difficult for people to change their mindset if all they know is poverty and struggle, because there are systems in place to ensure that this is what is perpetuated throughout our culture. So I think if I wish, I know it ain't gonna happen, but I wish all Black and brown people would rise up and lock them all away. Lock them all away, and we start making our own rules and laws that reflect a cohesive community where everyone is afforded the same opportunities and has the same responsibilities as a citizen. But that's just not the case. That's not where we're at. It's too many straight white men in power with money.
I definitely agree. And I'm noticing, what I can say is that those few Black people that do have leadership positions and judges and things like that, what I'm noticing now is that they are starting to speak up. They're no longer being like, just kind of going with the flow. And I think that we're definitely in a time where like their hand is kind of being forced. You know what I mean? What's her name? Jasmine? What's Jasmine? Yes. I love her. Like, I love her for speaking her mind, being honest, saying what she has to say, because her job is on the line every time she does that. But I do think that it's needed as a representation, that you do have a voice, that you can say something. And even if it is a white man in power, you don't need to just be quiet or, not stand up for what you know is right and kind of just go with whatever the majority is going with. White, Black, indifferent, I don't care,
What do you think about, because I think sometimes I see a lot of Black people that amass, wealth, and then they just turn into the white men of Black men. Because I think I've seen this before. Like, they get so much money and then they start like, oh, I can't do this and I can't be seen here. And now they're too good for the community that birthed them. And so that's been like a struggle for me too, because I would think that, like, I'm not in any way telling people how to spend their money, but if you are literally a millionaire or a billionaire, why are you not, instead of just creating a tax shelter 501(c), because that's what y'all are doing, y'all don't actually care about helping people. You just need a write-off at the end of the year. And I get it, it's business, but why not do something that actually will positively impact people? This is not the 60s. I don't think the FBI is going to come in here and burn down the Black Panther facility. I don't think. But they've done it before. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've done stuff like that before. So I understand every time we try to have something like Black Wall Street, I think every time we try to have something, they are a little, they want to snuff it out. But I feel like we could start, I don't know. I think they feel like it's inconsiderate of us to ask our Black leaders for things like this because they're too comfortable with their salary. They're, you know what I mean? Like, and I just want them to do better. Like, if you're a billionaire, like Tyler Perry employs so many Black people. Now, are we tired of the wigs? Yes.
Yes. Are we tired of the wigs? Yes. Tyler, call me up. I got several wigs. I can hook you up. I'm about that life, for real.
We are tired of the wigs, but that man has employed more Black people than probably anybody else.
And pays them their worth. I've heard from Taraji that pays them exactly what they asked for. He don't try to lowball you, negotiate nothing. If this what you say you want, that man give you exactly what you want. And I respect that.
Yeah, and I love, people that use their wealth like that, because billionaires just should not exist. That's just crazy to me. But Lord, if you want to try me and see if I would be a worthy servant.
Yes, me too, Jesus. Get me on the main line, please. Like,
if you ever want to test my integrity and my loyalty, I bid you to come. Go head on. Yeah. Go head on, Lord. Yeah. So I think, so changing our mindset a lot too. And just wanting the desire to want to be, in community with each other. Because I think sometimes too, we be like, it's every man for himself. And I think that we've been trained to think that, because we go to these workspaces where everybody backbiting, your friends is talking behind your back, and you can't really trust nobody. So I get it. But I hope, hopefully we can change it. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do my part by taking more trips and seeing more of the world.
I'll join you on that front. I shall join you on that excursion.
Just in case I, decide to move to Portugal. If it get too wicked over here,
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but I'll do my best, Lord. I'll try. But so what do you think about, because I would imagine that, we talk about people's employments and how their money is important to them. These people that are in these positions, politicians and stuff like that, working probably does nothing for your family life. I think that it's probably a little strain on the family and stuff like that. Just imagine being former President Barack Hussein Obama, who recently did a Q&A at Hamilton College, and he basically was talking about how his marriage became a little rocky because he was in the office for 8 years. It was stressful, and it took a toll, on his marriage. And he used the word deficit once he came out of the White House. And so, question: do you think you could be with somebody who is a good person? They love you, they're kind, and they do all the things, but they just can't be as attentive and as present as you want them to be because of their literal job, the thing that brings in money and makes sure that y'all are secure?
Jesus, Jerrilyn. This is so crazy because my first initial is no, right? Because I'm thinking 8 years. Michelle dealt with this for 8 years, and that's a long time. Like 8 years of a deficit of, and then he was the first Black president, so he had to really show up more than. Oh my God, he had to show. First of all, can I just side note? Regardless of what they was going through, can I say she handled it with grace?
They looked amazing.
Oh my God.
You would never know.
Girl. You would never know. Like, just salute to you, girl, because I had no clue and would never detect anything was wrong in y'all relationship. And that's what I think we needed as a Black community to see as a representation. Regardless of what y'all was going through, y'all still showed up together always, and we couldn't tell nothing. And I'm glad that was what was shown during his presidency. But I'm thinking, as far as me in a relationship with somebody for 8 years, they ain't the president, right? But they just don't have time. They just do not have time for me at all for 8 years. It's almost like you're single anyway. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. It's like, I want to support, and I would try to see where I can help, so that if that's quality time with them, you know what I mean? Also just trying to navigate maybe, but if not, for 8 years, having nothing to do with me, no romantic dinners, no being taken out, we not having sex, we kind of passing, we not even really engaging with each other. It's almost like I don't know you. And if that is how I feel for 8 years straight, I don't think I could stay.
Yeah, my answer is a hard no.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a no.
So I'm not tripping, because I'm like, I just don't see. You're already single to me. Like, I don't see why would you just need me there just to be there? Like, we don't even have a relationship.
How did you get to know me well enough for us to even be having this conversation? You made time at some point. So, so my thing is, don't introduce me to a single thing that you're not going to be consistent in doing, because I got about 15 minutes before I start thinking. Once I start putting 2 and 2 together and it don't make 4.
Okay.
Now, and I'm not the type of person, like, this is one of my toxic traits. If you treating me like, that's what it is. I don't even be wanting to have a conversation about it. And that's my problem. I'm learning slowly that, hey, you can just communicate.
Have a conversation. Yeah, you can just talk about it.
You just talk to her. Maybe it'll be different. But the way I don't be having no patience for that, because why would you change how you're interacting with me or engaging with me because you got a new job? In my mind, it don't work, but that's a selfish way of thinking.
Yeah, it is.
If he has a new job, things are going to change. But my thing is, that effort better not change.
That's my thing, Jerrilyn. Like, even if, and guys, listen to me, guys and women, whoever's listening, okay? When you get a new job or you get a new demand on your life, and if you are used to doing things for your girl or your significant other that you can no longer physically do, you should try using some of these delivery services. They got people who would deliver roses to her. They got people who would deliver chocolate to her. They got people who would pick her up in a limo or pick her up in whatever, a black truck or whatever, and bring her to you wherever you may be. You could buy her a flight if you got to go out of town and you're going to be there for 7 days. Like, think outside of the box as far as, like, okay, I physically can't do all these things. I can't be everywhere, but make sure that you make time for your person, because the minute that you let me know I'm no longer a part of your plans, I don't no longer want to be a part of your plans. I don't care. That's really how I think. Like, I don't care. Once you let me know I don't have no space here, he don't need me, whatever, like, then why am I here? That's the first thing I'm thinking.
And I'll be running. I can't wait to go get my purse, because the way I will leave, and that I'm No, and that is also a toxic trait, because the second I feel unwanted, I'm out of there. You don't got to tell me. My daddy told me that a long time ago. Second, a man don't let him tell you more than once that he don't want you. I said, bet you ain't got to even stress me out to the point where we trying to figure it out together. But has your, like, on the flip side, has your career ever made it feel like you're not available to your person? Like, what is it? How do you make the time to change? Because I'm assuming that with like having all these followers and needing to engage with these brands and deliver, certain pieces of content, like, wouldn't that make you busy too?
Says the person that just hit 600,000 K on Instagram. All of these followers. I don't got 600,000 K.
But you do. They're not there yet. They're in route.
They don't know yet, but they on their way. They coming. Yeah,
it's on the way.
So I would say in my life, right, I've dealt with people who were 9 to 5, right? Mm-hmm. And it was cool because I was working a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so that kind of worked because when we was off from work, we was together. There was no demand on that. Now being an entrepreneur, I have honestly made the decision to deal with people who are also entrepreneurs. And that is a choice. That's a choice because they get it. I don't have to, when you off from 9 to 5, I don't have to explain to you why I'm up at 3 a.m. with ideas and I'm writing and I can't go back to sleep until it's complete. Like dealing with people who are also in the same space helps you be able to navigate what you got going on a lot better because they can understand the demands of being an entrepreneur and what it really takes to be on your grind. I don't know, and I feel like B. Symone got in trouble for saying this before, where she said she didn't want to date somebody who had a 9 to 5. I don't mind dating anyone with a 9 to 5. I just want somebody who understands what it's like dating an entrepreneur because it's different. I'm not going to explain to you all the time the demands of what I have to do and how I don't just do one thing a day. I can do 27 things all day long. I can do 10 things. Some days I might not do nothing and just chill. But it's not going to make sense to you unless you can understand the demands of what it's like being the person that has to make money for everything you do. Like everything I do. It don't matter what I'm doing. I'm not guaranteed a check every 2 weeks. I have to make money every day. And that I'm going to have to be busy every day.
Yeah. And people don't understand. Like I have family members or friends who ask and say, how do I get into da da da? And I'm like, before you get into, let me tell you what you need to get out of. You need to get out of the notion that you're going to be off of work at 5 o'clock. That's not a thing.
Because get rid of weekends because they don't matter.
You ain't no weekend plans, baby, and I think that what I do, I have become efficient in what I do. So I'm able to kind of plan and structure things a little bit more. But if I need to respond to an email at 7:30 at night, that's what I got to do. If I got to take this call at 6 a.m. because someone is in a different location, that's what I have to do.
Absolutely.
And I think, and it doesn't mean that you have to be an entrepreneur also, but you do, like you said, you just got to understand that I don't have a stable paycheck. Like I can't lollygag. Like this different. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just F off this weekend. I gotta always be, and even now, like I'm learning too, like trying to balance this whole dating thing. Like if I'm gonna make time for this man, I got to do a whole bunch of stuff.
I gotta work.
Like my stuff got to be scheduled out before I got 2 days to rest and relax and be up for you. But before that, I got to work because if I don't, like this money still got to be coming in even when I'm not working. Like y'all got PTO, I don't. When I take PTO, a nigga just ain't getting paid.
That's it. And that's just what it is. And if I decide to go hang with you or us do something and I haven't done my work, I'm not a good time. I am not a good time.
Okay, because now I'm trying to figure out how I can get up out of here early and go do the work I was supposed to do.
Because now I pulled up. I got diarrhea. I got to go. Okay, I can't stay here because I'm not a good time because I got to work. And so I think, just being with someone who understands that is vital. It's vital.
Yeah.
It's vital. And people will say, oh, I get it. I understand it. Until they get with you or get in your space, they don't really get it. They didn't know it was like that.
They don't get it. They don't get why they can't also come to the event that I'm forced to go to that I don't want to go to.
Exactly.
I would rather be here on the couch with you, but I gotta go to this.
Thank you.
Because it might get me $3,000 6 weeks from now. It's everything is everything is a thing. And I think, like you said, it's just best to find somebody that can understand it and it's okay. Had you ever felt like, this is just me just being in your business now.
What's up?
Have you ever felt like the person that you're with don't like the attention that you get?
Never. No. The person that I've been with or like in the past and things like that, like they seem to be like my number one fan. Like huge support.
Really?
Number one.
Mm-hmm. That is so. I have always dealt with people that either like it's cute until they really realize, they be like, oh, you really
like
hurt.
Yeah, you know, like I didn't know.
You really hurt. You know, yeah. So I think it's an ego pride thing, but it's been hard to find a balance for that for me, because I feel like men be like, oh, I love these things about you and you're so great, and I like, it's almost like this trophy wife fixture type thing. Like they are excited because, oh, you're cute and you're funny and you're smart and you make your own money, and that is great. Yeah. Until like, oh, you cute and smart and funny and you make your own money.
Where do I fit in? That's what I always think. It's like, where do I fit? Like, how do I belong? And then they start to resent you because it's like you got everything, and now it's like, like, what can I do to even like be like? How can I make myself? What am I trying to say? You get what I'm trying to say, friend. Like,
they want you to make yourself small. They either want you to make yourself smaller, or they want a bigger role in whatever you got going on. Yes. And I'll be like, yes, I don't really need you to play a role in what I have going on. I just need you to support me from over here. But if you can help me in some way, I'm gonna be open and welcome to that. But I think it'd be hard sometimes to deal with people when I think when you're used to dating people who are top of the food chain. Or they're used to being top of the food chain, or where they come from, they were the best basketball star, or they were the smartest in their class. They were voted most handsome 6 years in a row, whatever. Like, people have a hard time, you know. I tell people, like, honey, I wasn't the most popular, nothing, ever. Me neither. I got bullied and talked about just like everybody else. And so I think that's why I'm able to not let stuff go to my head, because, baby, they used to roast me. I'm like, telling you know what I'm saying? Like, people used to roast me, so I don't need to feel elevated to other people to make myself feel good. Like,
and that's why we in the position that we're in now. And you could tell that to me in our content. Cause like, you could tell, excuse me, y'all could bleep this out because I'm back cussing. You could tell that we just genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, it just don't matter. Like,
because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? You see people online, you can tell, no, I really can tell that person don't give a fuck.
Right. And I meant everything I said.
Yeah. And that's how I feel, you know? So I think that us going through that shows in our content if people are paying attention. Like, you can tell when people have really been through things or have experienced things, and like all of that caring about what other people think, you had to get rid of that notion early on. Like, you couldn't no longer care about what other people think, because they're going to think regardless. And no matter what, you ain't never going to be able to sway how they thinking. So once you get rid of the notion that you really can't persuade people, because there was a time in my past, I was a people pleaser, trying to persuade people, trying to get people to like me, trying my best to be understood. I felt so misunderstood. But then, Jerrilyn, I woke up one morning and said, fuck.
Yes.
I don't care no more.
Listen, when you realize you can't, it's two things for me. I can't pay my bills with your opinions. That's number one. Okay. This is my life and I got to fund it. I got to maintain myself. And I can't do that with what you say about me. Number two, and probably one of my most favorites. You're never going to be good enough to people that had no intention of showing you were valuable in the first place.
Hello.
So why am I been, and you can tell, you can literally tell, people will show you that they don't fuck with you, and it's all over their face, it's in their mannerisms, it's in the way that they talk to you. Why the hell am I trying to make you happy with who I am, who I'm dealing with, what type of career? I don't give a good goddamn. What, you know what I mean? Like, but you had to get there though. You had to get there. And I think having people pleasing, you know, in your system early in life, I think that's one of the best things that people can go through. Get your heart broke early and often. So when you grown and you realize that, hey, this hurt, but it don't stop. I gotta keep moving.
Stop. No motion. You ain't.
I gotta keep moving.
No motion.
I've been through situations like that where I let what people thought about me shut me down. I said I'll never do that again.
Same. As a kid, girl, I could get on here and tell you some stories, Jerrilyn, about how my childhood
Tell
was
me
great
about it,
because my
friend.
mother, girl, my childhood was great because my mother made it amazing, not because the people that I consider friends made it amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally went through so many cycles where I just wanted friends. I had best friends. And then it would be somebody would be like, I don't like her. And then they would try to jump me after school. That was just my best friend. Like, we was best friends up until this person started at the school, right? I had this girl around my neighborhood who would line us all up. She was in middle school, so we must have been in elementary school. She would line all the elementary schools up and have them fight each other. And like, then at the end, she would have them like jump me at the end. Like, why? I don't know. And like, I had to do it or she would beat me up. Like, it was just like so much stuff as a kid.
Insane.
Literally insane. And Jerrilyn, I think I said this before, and I never knew why people didn't like me. I always was a target. And I think early on I had that I don't give a fuck, but I couldn't understand how it was being portrayed because I still was a people pleaser. So I think people wanted me to sway one way, but I just never picked sides. I just wanted friends. I didn't care about being clicked up. I never been in a clique. That was never my thing. I never rolled in cliques. I never did, because I think it was just hard for me to be a follower. So I never could like get with a group of people and do everything they told me to do. You know what I mean? I was more of a people pleaser where it was like, you want to come over my house and have a sleepover and my mom like cook for us and we hang out kind of thing. Like that type of people pleaser, and like give them all my snacks and stuff like when they came over, but not like click wise where it was a leader and they was telling me what to do. Like I don't want to do that. I just didn't.
Girl, I couldn't do either one. That's so interesting because I grew up around a bunch of white people too. And I remember when I tried to have a slumber party and none of the white kids' parents would let them stay. Like everybody was like, oh, I brought you a gift, but sorry, I can't stay. And girl, that was when I really realized, girl, that shit broke my heart. But that was when I really realized that I was Black and very different. Like, because up until then, I was just like, oh, everybody gonna be friends. You know, people are gonna be friends after the slumber party. And it's so heartbreaking as a child when you just want to be accepted and loved for who you are. But that whole time, like I learned, and it's not like there's something so spectacular about me. It's not like I'm just so special. I just was different. Like you was just different. I'm not gonna do the things that y'all are gonna end up doing with your lives. So this is preparing me for that. I'm going to be alone right now because at 35, I'll probably still be alone. Not because nobody likes me, but because I'm not built for everyone.
Yeah, so true. If I
you just can't have everybody around you.
Girl.
That's a sermon.
If I knew then what I do now. What'd you say?
We end up here.
I know, right? How did we end up here? We always take the sidebar. But because I don't know who watches our podcast, you know, and I don't know if they got kids. I don't know if kids could be going through something and they do not know how to navigate this. And I'm going to tell you now, literally what Jerrilyn said, your child is probably just super special, like, and not going to do what everybody else is going to do. And people are going to bully you when you don't follow the path. When you just stand out on your own by yourself, people gonna have a problem with that. Even in this big age that we at right now, people hate when you go against the grain. They call you all types of names. They say wild stuff about you. You ain't never gonna get a man. You bitter. You ain't right. You da 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 da. People are gonna talk about you no matter what when you do something different. And so I just encourage y'all to instill and just like elaborate on their brilliance, whatever that thing may be. You know, like whatever it is. I hope that you guys like bring forth the specialness in them and let them know that this is temporary. Them friends you had back then, you're not even gonna be friends with them no more. And I be wondering, like,
and you're not even gonna be friends with anybody like them no more. Like, everything about you is going to change. Nothing. The only constant thing in life is change. The people that you thought were so cool when you were 6 and 7 and 8 years old are not even going to be your type of people no more. I used to think that I wanted to be the life of the party, but it was because I didn't have any real friends. And so I wanted to be at clubs and hang out with people. And I realized, I said, I don't really like this. I'd rather be asleep. And and now I have friends who, most of us, in the bed by 9 o'clock, I check in and be like, hey, sis, you good? But I don't need to be the life of the party. I'm the party.
Yeah.
I'm the party.
Yeah.
At my house, I'm the party. Walking my dog, I'm the party. On the phone with my mama, I'm the party. Like, I'm the party. And I think people need to realize that you are the party. Like, you don't need to go out your way and do nothing unusual for people who may or may not accept you. Like, be yourself, and the people that like that will come and find you.
So true. So true. Best advice.
That's my sermon for today.
Yeah.
That's the sermon. Be yourself. Be yourself. And then let the people that supposed to be in your life, they'll find you. I know it's crazy because there's 8 billion of us on this planet, but I promise you, you're going to find them.
Friends, speaking of this planet, right? This girl has said something. No, I just want to know if you have ever thought about this. It's not even,
okay.
I don't know if it's profound or not, but just hear me out.
Okay.
So she was talking about something. Don't even matter. Only thing that she said, I'm going to say this. Only thing that matters is she said in her little thing, she was trying to sell something, but she was like, y'all, we got to remember that we still on Earth, we floating in space. Why the hell didn't I ever think that we was just floating in space? Like, I know we was on Earth, right? But like, why it never, like, you don't think about that every day. Because you're grounded.
We don't have to because of gravity.
That part, you know what I mean? But in reality, we're literally floating in space. And I'm like, why I never thought about it like that? You ever think about it like that? Like, we just literally just floating in space.
You know, I stopped smoking weed. So
I don't smoke weed.
I don't really think, you know, but I think when people make comments like that, I think what they're having is not necessarily an existential crisis, but an existential awareness. You're just becoming very aware of your existence and how little you mean in the grand scheme of things.
That part. And that's what she was talking. That's literally where we was going. I wasn't about to dissect everything that was going on. But
no, that we can though.
No, but it was just like that part is like, y'all just got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? She was having a moment, like you said. You know what I mean? But it just made sense. And it's like, we do need to pay attention to that. Although, I don't smoke weed. I do want y'all to know. I am very woke, but I don't smoke weed.
No, I wasn't saying, I'm so sorry. I was not saying that like she smokes weed, y'all. I'm just saying, that sounds like a high revelation. That sounds like something that you think you get way too high and you like, yo, we really just floating in space, bro.
Yeah.
Like my nigga, we learned that in 4th grade. Like we knew it, but we didn't know it for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like we're for real.
And that's what I mean when I say becoming aware of stuff. Like, girl, we are literally floating on a rock.
Right. And it's like, you know this though. We all know this information. I don't want y'all to think like I had this aha moment where I think I just been shook. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. It's just something you don't even think about every day or even every other day. For that matter,
we're too busy thinking about all these other BS things that man has created on this planet, like paying rent and where we're gonna get food and water from, and how to get our vehicles to continue running. Like, we don't have the luxury of thinking about living on a rock in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
I got other things on my mind. God forbid the earth decided it wanted to implode and kill us all. We ain't even thought about it in the last 30 years.
Lord, don't say that, Jerrilyn.
Well, I hope we make it till tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't say that, Lord. Okay, that was it.
But I mean, hey, sometimes you just got to stop and realize that you're floating on a rock in the middle of nothing, because it literally is us floating on a rock in the middle of nothing, paying for things that God gifted to us. And oh my God.
Seriously.
I can't wait to move out of this country.
Girl, I'm thinking about moving out the planet. I'm on some other stuff.
You can now, friend, I think it's gonna be a little more difficult than just I don't think you can just look up apartments on Mars.
Because what's over there? Because what's going on over there in other places?
What is the cost of living and how is the walkability?
For real? No, seriously.
Well, friend, I know that I always love talking to you, and I know the feelings are mutual.
Yes.
But we gotta go.
I know, y'all. Look.
But wait. Before we wrap it up, though, one more time, tell them about Thailand.
Okay, y'all. One more time for the people in the back that wasn't listening, right? We have a trip coming up to go to Thailand. You're going to be with us, okay? So if you want to come, get on the early bird special. It's only 8 slots, $1,500, you're going to get a $350 discount just for being on time. Okay, please don't show up on CPT time here. Okay, this is the time to be on time so you can get that discount and you can hang out with us, y'all. We're going to do so many different excursions. We're going to see the elephants. We're going to go to the Mayans. We're going to do some content creating, and that's going to be really exciting. You know, we have a lot of things in store. Friends, tell them the dates and stuff.
October 24th through the 30th. Now, just keep in mind, the only other thing you have to pay for is your flight. As long as you can get to the hotel, we will cover the rest. We're going to give you some meals. We got even some optional stuff that if you want to do it, you can. You ain't got to do it, but everything is included. So just show up, have a good heart, you know, be ready to receive, because it's going to be an amazing time. Y'all always say y'all want to kick it with us. So October 24th through the 30th of this year, that's what you're going to be doing. 7 days, 6 nights in Thailand. Come and hang out with us. It'll be amazing. It's going to be an amazing time. You don't want to miss it.
Yes. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out. Y'all know we're going to be here every Thursday. You can catch us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know every time we upload.
Peace. Bye.